In this report, we're comparing retire cheap living costs around the world. The estimates I'm giving you are bare bones expenses for a one-bedroom apartment, utilities, 2 meals per day in restaurants, and local transportation, including local buses and taxis. There's a table here with a low range and a high range, and it shows you how many of each item is included in those ranges. The only difference between high and low is how close in the apartment is, the number of 3-course restaurant meals per month, and the number of bus or taxi rides per month. Again, it only covers those items. Low range. The low range line in the table means one lower rent per month payment because it's further from the city center. 4 meals in expensive 3-course restaurants per month, and 56 meals in inexpensive restaurants per month, plus 20 bus rides and 10 taxi rides per month. That's what the low end represents. For the high end, the high range represents a higher rent because the one-bedroom apartment's closer into the city center. It represents 52 meals per day in inexpensive restaurants and 8 3-course meals in higher end restaurants per month. That'd be about 2 per week. And instead of 20 bus rides and 10 taxis, you'd be doing 10 bus rides and 20 taxis. Of course, you would want to add other items to this table. Presumably you'd want to do other things. I don't know what that would be, golf, go to the movies or whatever. The data in this table is taken from numbeo.com for each city on the list, and it's been of the 13 cities, and it's been converted into US dollars for comparison purposes. For example, Oaxaca is the first city in the table below. The rents range from $214 for further out from the city to $362 based on the distance from the city center. A cheap meal is $2.72, and an expensive meal or 3-course meal is $8.35, all from Numbeo. If you multiply out how many of each expense you have per month based on the table of each item, you'll have a range of high versus low. And that's here on the table, along with links to each of the reports when we have them, or my visits from my earlier blog if I wasn't doing retired cheap reports at the time of my visit. The ranges in this table for only one person and only include 2 meals per day, rent, utilities, and local transportation. For an accurate estimate, for a more accurate estimate for you, personally visit Numbeo and add anything you spend money on each month for whichever of these cities are interesting. You would need to do an exploratory visit to determine what your actual living costs would be based on the apartment you would select and the types of restaurants you'd want to eat in and what have you. The reason this has value, if any, in my opinion, is because it gives you a base case that you can add on to, and it compares between cities. For example, if you're only going to have $1,200 a month, say, income for retirement, you don't want to start looking at places that have a base case for low end of $1,200 a month, because then you wouldn't have any money left over. But this gives you an idea of parts of the world and what the low to high range for just the bare bones case is, so you can take a look. Now, I'll show you pictures of videos, as I'll continue to do that as I go, and I'll talk about each city and what I liked about it. So Oaxaca, Mexico, the base case is $442 to $626 per month. This is my favorite city in Mexico. It's clean and beautiful and full of indigenous people and their arts and crafts and culture. Make sure to watch our videos on the walking tour around the city center at day and night. It's one joyous place to be. Make sure to have the flour tacos we talk about in our Retire Cheap report and in our videos for Oaxaca. All of those are, there's links to all of them here on the web page that I'm looking at. No need to take notes. Everything I'm talking about, including the links, is on the web page. Just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video. Okay, Porto Portugal has a low of $12.29 to a high of $14.78 per month US for bare bones. That was my favorite city in Portugal. It felt like we were living in a storybook with all the gorgeous architecture, cobblestone streets. Make sure to do a day trip or a weekend trip to see nearby Sintra and Coimbra. Links provided to the retired cheap reports and those 2 day trips on the webpage. Okay, Santa Marta, Colombia, a low range of $6.48 to $7.03 per month. On the high range for bare bones. This is a laid-back beach community about 5 hours from Cartagena. The prices here are much cheaper and life moves at a slower pace. There are nearby national parks and gorgeous white sand beaches. Come check out the videos for that and the Retired Cheap Report. Krabi, Thailand, $6.22 to $8.40 per month bare bones. Again, 1 person, 1 bedroom, utilities, and the restaurants. This is a small town with a riverfront walk. There's just a short boat ride from one of the most famous beaches in Thailand, Rai Beach. So you can sneak over to Rai so you can enjoy the night market in the small town feel of Thailand there in Krabi, but stop in on the action whenever the mood strikes. You're also right near Onang Beach. Make sure to see our Raleigh Beach tour video and tour our Krabi Town video. All those links are on the webpage. Nha Trang, bare bones, $5.39 for outside the city center to $6.62 within. This is my favorite spot in Vietnam and my present favorite for easy beach living in Southeast Asia. The food is cheap and amazing, and we found an amazing 1 bedroom just 2 blocks from the beach for $15 per night. On short-term rental, you would have to commit to a lease to get the rent prices mentioned in the above table. Make sure to check out our best mud bath spa in Nha Trang video. Great video there. Links to that here on the webpage. Arequipa, Peru, 415 US to 521 bare bones. This was my favorite city in South America for daily life. It was a toss-up between that and Buenos Aires, which I'll talk about in a minute. It's a beautiful mid-sized university town with an amazing assortment of international restaurants, nightlife, and things to do. And make sure to check out the Santa Catalina Monastery tour video link provided. Gorgeous town, amazing place. DUMAGUETE Philippines, bare bones, $5.46 to $6.65. We've been here for about 2 months now during the coronavirus lockdown. It's been a very easy and cheap place to live. Plus the Filipino people are quite lovely. Make sure to watch our day tours from DUMAGUETE to Apo Island and Siquijor Island. Buenos Aires, Argentina, bare bones, $6.66 to $740 a month. I haven't been to Buenos Aires in about 11 years, but I absolutely love it. The last time I was there, you can see my blog from that, link provided. I'm looking forward to seeing it again in the next few years. Okay, Montezuma, Costa Rica, $9.58 to $11.46 per month. I got a chance to drive the coast of Costa Rica when I was there about a decade ago. It stuck out in my mind as a laid-back hippie town, Montezuma. I wasn't overly impressed with the cost of living in Costa Rica, but the people were nice there. If you end up slow traveling through Central America, make sure to check out Antigua and Grenada while you're in Central America. Those are 2 of my favorite cities there. They were much cheaper to live and even more charming, in my opinion, in Costa Rica. Okay. Those are the ones that I have a blog on that I visited, and there's a few more I wanted to talk about on the table. I haven't been to the Dominican Republic yet, but it has a bare bones low from 700 to a high of 673 bare bones. And it's showing rents of about 200 to 400 a month. The meals look expensive there. The low meal is $5.50 and high is $18. That's what's pushing up the cost there. Greece. I've been to Greece, but only Santorini and Athens. The place that I want to see there now is Donausa, and it has a bare bones of $12.24 per month to $13.35. And I've also been to Brazil, Rio. It's been 11 years since I've been there. And it has a bare bones of 622 to 755. I don't know that I would recommend Rio for living. I would prefer Argentina myself, but it's a fascinating place. And Brazil is definitely a place you want to see while you're there. And if you fall in love with it, that's what a bare bones is. Again, if you visit numbeo.com and look at what things cost and just add it on to the rent, utilities, and transportation, and the foods that I'm quoting, you'd be able to figure out a more accurate understanding of what it costs you to live in each of these places. But this gives you an idea of bare bones around the world, how to compare them. And there's links to my Retire Cheap reports if you want to see my videos about each of these places. Thanks for listening. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for Vagabond Buddha. Just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video if you'd like to find out more information, and all of this is in writing. Thanks for listening.